That's all I had under new business today.
I have one resolution, Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to offer the board.
Okay.
I'd like to move that the town board rule here tonight that Ms. Bartley no longer is our official videographer or whatever. In other words, she is no longer will be the one that is the official recorder of our town meetings. That's my motion.
Motion to discontinue our relationship.
I make that.
You would second that?
Yep.
Second by Mr. McGinn. Under discussion. Questions or comments?
Well, I'm just curious as to, do you have another individual that's willing to take on that responsibility? No?
My motion is just as it stands.
I would, I guess, offer, I think that the town is ready to step up to the plate to be the responsible parties for the public record. Either be it with the town clerk and the supervisor's office. The town clerk is essentially responsible for all public record here in the town. And I just think, I agree, that I think it's time that we take responsibility to secure for the people who do have an interest in watching the public record.
Well, I want to make sure that this continues. I think it's a worthwhile tool for the public to have, to be able to see what goes on in these chambers. And I would not want to discontinue it. If we're ready to,
That would be
Make
a
that-
separate motion.
if
Or a
you're ready to
resolution.
take on that responsibility so that next month I can watch January's meeting, okay, but I'm not gonna,
Well, you've been here long enough to know, Joe, that, you know, if I can make the motion
Yes.
as I see fit, and the board will vote as they see fit. If you have some other interest and you have an interest that the video should continue, then you should make that your effort to see that continues. My effort right now is just as I stated, and that's all.
okay.
So further discussion just on the motion to discontinue the professional relationship that we have presently with Ms. Bartley. Roll call vote on that, please.
Mr. Hutchins?
Yes.
Mr. McGinn?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
No,
And Mr. Maryhill?
Yes. Then following under new business, I would then be prepared to offer a resolution of consideration that the town of Elizabethtown invest in the necessary equipment and coordinate between the town clerk and the supervisor's office to assure that the town then would undertake the responsibility for the taping of the meetings, the forwarding of the VCR cassettes, coordination with charter, and as we do here, keep those on file for the public's review here at the town hall and at the library also. My initial research in that shows, I believe, that resolution up to $500. We would be able to secure all necessary equipment and be in business in January. That would be my resolution.
I make that.
You would second that? Okay. Now under discussion. Does that fit your interest? Or do you have other questions or comments?
No, that's fine.
Do you feel, I think as you
That's your
stated,
motion.
that it is important that we
Very important.
continue?
Continues.
And you believe it's important to secure the integrity of the public record? That's, I think, what's driving this whole consideration right now. That we have the responsibility as board members, supervisors, to assure the public that they're receiving an unaltered version. Whatever happens to it after that happens to it. An unaltered version, gavel to gavel. If it's a public hearing, opening till ending, with no pronouncements of, we're going to give you the important highlights of the meeting. It's the meeting. You can pick out. You're the taxpayer. You can pick out what you feel is important, what isn't important. I think it's dangerous once we start to represent the consideration of a form of censorship. So yes, that's
Well,
my
in that,
resolution.
in that light, are you going to forbid anyone from taping meetings other than us?
Legally, no, you can't.
No.
Okay.
You can certainly
Well, that's-
have provisions in there to have absolute direction of what is acceptable for taping in the meetings. You can't prohibit taping. But you can have
So if
control
she
over
shows
how
up with
taping,
a camera and sits there and tapes it,
not a problem.
the only difference is that tape is for personal use.
That's absolutely
It's
right.
not for public record. It's not to be exhibited on Channel 16 of Charter Communication. We would be the entity that would in
Responsible.
with all of that responsibility.
That's correct.
Okay. I don't want to stop
Good for the
anybody
seconder?
from
Yep.
exercising their right to be able to videotape or record.
We would not think of it, no. Not part of the, not
Well, I
part of the
think-
consideration.
You know, I think I almost really need to remind Mr. Martin, maybe others, my motion was clearly what it was.
I gotcha.
My motion was never that we would stop doing the videoing the meetings, although I've never liked them. I still don't like them. I will never like them. But that's not the issue here. And I'm perfectly willing to support a motion that the town will take these over to the extent that that apparently is what a lot of the people in the community want. I shouldn't say a lot. I do hear some that watch them,
I get
and I'm not
comments
looking
from
to
people out of our community.
don't
I get comments from people all in North Country that, Jesus, saw your meeting the other night on television.
I
We
would
look
be-
for it now.
I would be even less concerned with them.
Well, again, they're citizens of the North Country. They all know each other. They're a small area up here. 40,000 people in our county. Everybody knows everybody. And some meetings are more entertaining than others.
But I have never said to you tonight, Mr. Martin,
No.
that I wanted to stop the video from going on in the meeting. I'm sure that at some point out in the public sector, that will be voiced, but that's not what I did. And anybody that watches this should be able to figure that out for themselves.
For the discussion, clear on my resolution and no coffee. You're just doing that because I'm gonna make you tape. Roll call vote, please.
One more thing.
Sure.
I think you may have limited yourself a little scantily there on your monies for purchase of tripods and cords and taping equipment and duplicating equipment and everything else that you're talking about doing here. I don't think $500 is adequate for that.
Maybe not.
I'm thinking.
We've researched it for the last week or so. We've got a great outlet. We think the camera, the recording equipment, the transfer equipment, things like that, that's under $450. But I didn't really look at the cords. I don't think we have to. Tripods are a little bit different.
Again, those are smaller parts, but I
Yeah.
still think $1,000 would give you a better range.
Yeah, it's not that important to spend
300.
500 is good. I think we'll be able to do it
Okay.
for 5. Or we'll get a grant, one way or the other. Roll call vote.
Mr. Hutchins.
Yes.
Mr. McGinn?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes?
Mr. Merryle?
Yes.